And then it has basic laws that you'd have in any realm. Don't steal, don't murder people, blah, blah, that kind of bullshit. I don't even remember the thing that needs to be said. But I mean, essentially, you're supposed to respect the keeper, attend all fashion pageants, don't wear red. I mean, that's pretty basic. That part's not confusing. The only part where it gets confusing is the history. There was a crusade that happened 8 years ago in relativity to this Tale of R&R, where you guys fought against heretics. Everybody loved it. It was great. You were fighting for your god that's protected you for thousands of years. The bishop was the previous king, well-respected man, but he stepped down 5 years ago due to old age, and now the new king, Din, makes you go to fashion pageants, disbanded the army. People don't really like him. Some people love him, most people are kind of iffy on him, and then there's a lot of pissed to see him that just straight up don't like him. But you don't outwardly say this, because you're not supposed to disrespect the king. I mean, keep in mind, this isn't a very modern realm. They live by very old standards, so you're not going to disrespect the king and get away with it. Moving on from the backstory already, here's Burgundy. This is Coffee. He's the mayor of Kotapt. Kotapt is the central town, not the capital. Most realms don't have a capital per se, but this is the central town right next to the realm gate. As you can see, there are a lot of businesses, a lot of residential areas, a lot of places to attend to. It's a big, very nice city, and Burgundy is the respected mayor of town. Klig was the head of security of town. He walks around with soldiers, make sure there's no heretics around, make sure nobody's stealing things. He deals with everybody's problems, and anybody who lives here knows Klig. He's also an ex-soldier. The soldiers of this realm are the orc soldiers. These guys are just pissed to see him warriors that are no longer part of the army but now fight as security. And then there are now Archola soldiers, which are Enians that fight. Now, a lot of people don't even like this. A lot of people in Archola hate that Archolians are fighting anyways because they believe that the Pisticium should do it for them. But here they are. A lot of Pisticiums hate it too. They were born to fight, and now the fucking Enians are doing it for them. They're like, what the fuck? This was my job. Now moving on to just random residents who live here. Flitena was Zyka's character. She is just a server in Kotapt at that place called Ratrapians. Not a well-known person, just a random server. Rishaw is the blacksmith. Anybody who's part of security or is a Pisticium is probably going to know her. She forged weapons for the army crusade that happened 8 years ago. She was a warrior in the army, and she still blacksmiths as the central town of Archola, so she's pretty well known. Then there's Morag, the dojo master. She's played by Kelly. She was known as the Typhoon in the Crusade. She has very high Votera attack, very high speed, and very high combat speed. She's just super fast, super powerful, but not very defensive. She's known for running around the battlefield and just destroying tons of opponents with very high precision. Pretty much a war veteran hero. And then the same thing with Gluth. He is known as the Butcher. He is literally known for running around this big, massive, fucking 11-foot man with two huge butcher knife swords, just cleaving apart heavily armored enemies in one hit. He's a crazy powerful guy. And now he's a butcher in town. How they've fallen. Then there's Bane. Now, if you grew up in Kotapt, you probably know her because she has natural red hair and natural red eyes. Ooh, how that makes the Archola citizens angry. Red's illegal. It's the color of the forecomer. She's practically the devil's child amongst a lot of the civilians of this town. She's always been known as a rebel. Some people even think she's a thief.
She is, by the way.
And, well, recently she started a little bit of rebellion within a couple people that did not attend the fashion pageant. In part one, these characters didn't go to the fashion pageant illegally and stayed in a restaurant after hours with the mayor, Gluth, and Flitena and talked, and then Bane showed up and was like, fuck this place. I'm born red. My dad was killed because he had red hair. This place sucks. At first, everybody's against it, and now everybody's for it. Just came on. A random adventurer from out of realm coincidentally showed up during the fashion pageant hours when there's nobody in town and walked in the restaurant, was like, hey, get me food. Oh yeah, Flitena, give me your breast milk, bro. Yeah, fuck yeah, give me breast. Boobies. He's just a degenerate. He's annoying. He's banned from town. But he has a really, really high ranged combat. So you guys want him on your side if you're going to start a rebellion. You just have to hide him. As of right now, he stays in Gluth's meat house, and he hates Gluth, but loves Flitena. Also, Klig died yesterday. He was murdered, a mysterious incident that people don't know how he died. But the bishop showed up. The bishop showed up after a bunch of red ribbons flew around town. 2 days ago, a shit ton of ribbons are being thrown into people's windows, being put in people's meat while they're eating it, being hung on people's weapons when they're buying it from the blacksmith, being put on people's bills at restaurants. People are like, what the fuck? Red's illegal. Why are these ribbons everywhere? Well, it's because these rebellion people are secretly, low-key hiding it in people's purchases around town. Oh yeah, and then the bishop showed up and he's like, these people are heretics. Execute them for the sake of our realm, you know, that kind of bullshit. And then they decided to have a trial. And that's what we're starting today. That was earlier this morning.